Okay, social robot is based on human-animal interactions, which facilitates social interaction and engagement in long-term care facilities. Many studies have used social robots as companion in long-term care facilities, and many studies have shown that social robot has many beneficial effects, such as physiological and psychological and social effects, such as reduce stress hormone level and reduce blood pressure, and also it can alleviate the depression and improve the mood and quality of life. And also can increase behavior status and social behavior and communication as well. And the current parrot is night. It has the appearance of the baby half seal. It is from Canada. The baby half seal is from Canada, but the industry is from Japan. Parrot is a size of the like a newborn baby and weighs 2.5 kilometers. It has an anti-static fur, which can prevent bacteria from adoption and spreading. And it also has a diurnal rhythm that makes it inactive during the day and inactive at night. And it also has 5 sensors which can monitor sound, light, touch, and temperature and procedure. It also can express human-like emotional reactions such as surprise, happiness, and anger. My research aim is to investigate the effect parent intervention on depression and loneliness in older adults in long-term care facilities in Taiwan. My study design is a mixed-method experimental design. Step 1 is an observational stage for 8 weeks, which participants receive usual care or activity. The purpose of the stage 1 is to observe the usual mood of older adults with depression. And stage 2 is a care intervention for 8 weeks, 24 hours per day. The purpose of stage 2 is to investigate the effect of care intervention on depression and well-being by a single group before an actual quasi experimental design. After care intervention, an individual interview were conducted. Okay, the purpose sampling was conducted in my study in 4 long-term care facilities in southern Taiwan. The potential participants were identified by facilities managers and formally screened against the described criteria by researchers. And researchers invited older adults with depression to participate in my studies. The total sampling, 22 participants were recruited into my studies. As active participants such as his or her own control, this sample size will double to sample size to 44. And MMSE and demographic and health information were collected before and baseline. And the outcome measurement I used GDS showform and UCL loneliness were collected or as my outcome variable. And I administered these 2 instruments at 4 time points. And after that, I have a semi-structured interview for my participants. And for my results, the participants were aged between 65 to 93, with the mean age of 21.1 years. The number of the years living in long-term care averaged 3.4 years on average. And 50% of majority of the participants were female, and their level of education was 40%, 45% of the participants were after primary school, and 55% of the participants their family visit them per week, and majority of the participants they use the wheelchair as the primary means of their mobility. And you can see the outcome during the observation stage. They are slightly decreased in depression and loneliness. However, there are no significant during the observation stage. However, you can see that during the intervention stage, using the 24-hour pair intervention, you can see there are significant decrease in depression and loneliness. During the T1 and T3 and T4, it also showing the significant differences. In the post-hoc analysis on depression and loneliness, you can see each comparison also showing significant differences with the large effect size. Okay, in my conclusion, this is the first study using 8 weeks, 24-hour pair intervention for older adults with depression in long-term care facilities. And 8 weeks 24-hour pair intervention has significantly reduced depression and loneliness in long-term care facilities. And social robot intervention has the potential to reduce depression symptoms and loneliness for people with depression. So we can see that social robot intervention such as Payroll, it is a patient-centered intervention we can use in the long-term care facilities. However, this study also has some limitations. First, this study is a small sample size of a specific population, and majority of the participants were female. Therefore, caution is needed when generalizing the results. Second, the 24-hour pair intervention lasted for 8 weeks, but participants used Payroll for varying amount of the time. Therefore, the amount of the time it is maybe a mediator to impact the result of these results. That's why my next step to my further research will using the another method to control this by a mediator or in this mediator. And third, there are no follow-up assessment after the end of the pair intervention. Hence, uncertainty remains as to whether pair has a sustained effect on depression and loneliness. That's why I will conduct another study in Taiwan because I already graduated from Griffith University this year, and I will have a new grant to doing the randomized control trial to test this study in Taiwan. Thank you. Do you have any question? I will welcome to answer your question.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Before I ask the question, may I ask your advisor this morning?
Yeah. When you more.
Yeah. She's she's invite. She invite.
No.
Miss April, right?
Yes.
No, that is a forward. It's a windy chamber, right? Yeah, that's
Okay, I speak the windy, the same person. Okay, I have some question. Is that all right?
some question.
Yeah. First, You have a slide say the payroll use 24 hours.
Yeah.
It's a nobody can use a robot 24 hours. This is my first question. And the second one is how many payroll you use in your study? Because if you different payroll, maybe you have to just say something about how the standard is a different effect or something. That would be confounding the factor. The third question is your sampling. You say the purposely sampling. I know it's not easier to the differentiation convenience sampling or purposely. So yeah, just maybe if you mention purposely, why not the convenience sampling? And actually, you mentioned the limitation. Say maybe more the effect is more than 8 weeks, but you didn't you don't know. You want to do another study, but you have to answer the question because your outcome indicator is lonely depression, something like that, and your intervention is use the payroll or not. So the dose effect, because of the dose effect, when you choose something intervened, so you got some outcome. So that's why I'm questioning about your limitation address. Maybe just a discretion problem, not really. You need to follow the time. Okay, here's my full question.
Actually, I forgot the first question, but I can answer the easy question for second question. I have run 5 pairs, 5 pairs, but this pair is borrowed from the payroll companies. It is from Japan for 3 and Australia for 2. Yeah, so I have the 5 pairs. And did you know how much for each payroll? Did you know that?
How much?
What? Per one. It's
$20?
$20? Yeah, $20.
Wow.
$20.
Fine.
But
And you support yourself? You support yourself?
the company support me to conduct this study. Yes, I apply. Yes. So I use the $1 million each run. That's why I feel very stressed during that time when I'm doing my research. Yeah.
But so that's another question the conference interest.
Yeah.
Because the conference is full.
Yes, the company sponsor me to do this.
So when you publish, you have some problem the conference interest.
But actually, that is not the interesting conflict for this company because they didn't receive any feedback. I just published my paper and they didn't receive any interest or I didn't say that payroll is good or bad. Yeah. So I don't see that it have an interesting conflict. Because I thought of the payroll. And the third,
24 hours.
24 hours. Yeah, it is a confounding by the 24 hours because it is a amount of time every participant use the payroll is a very often time. But like when we are using the payroll intervention, most of the time we use it in the morning or afternoon. That is also confounding. But because we treat the payroll as a robotic pet, it is like a real pet. So I using this concept to my participants. That's why, just like we keep the door just like 24 hours, my participants, they can keep the payroll, whatever they want to treat my payroll. They can put it into the table, bed, or they can put it into the cabin, so what? But they have a different effect. That's why I want to see what is this effect for the depression and loneliness.
Okay.
It's right.
Okay, that's time. Sorry about that.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. Very interesting topic.